Listen, I know what I said back in the day. I know what I said. I'm never going to review another Netflix action movie unless if it was a short. This is my last straw with Netflix original movies. Unless they buy it from a studio, because that's the only time it seems like they actually try and put any effort into anything. But Netflix original movies, I'm done. That's it.
See, I did say that.
But I just have to rant now. This is like therapy to me. So let's talk about the latest in a long line of shitty Netflix action movies created by an AI algorithm. Interesting, since this movie is about AI. Atlas is the latest shitty action movie from Netflix. As you can always tell from these intros, you know exactly how I feel. I don't even know if I have to review this movie because you know I'm going to give this movie an ass rating. This stars J-Lo, Simu Liu, Sterling K. Brown, Mark Strong. Jennifer Lopez plays a brilliant counterterrorism analyst with a deep distrust of AI, but discovers it might be her only hope when a mission to capture a renegade robot goes awry. There's gonna be a lot of jokes. I'm gonna get serious at some point in the video, but like honestly, I hope that James Cameron gets his royalties. I hope the people over at Respawn Entertainment who developed Titanfall get their royalties. This is the biggest Titanfall ripoff I've ever seen. I love Titanfall. Those are fun games, man. Somebody was just like,
Timmy, time to do your homework.
hold on, mom. I'm writing my script.
Is that more important than your homework, Timmy?
This is research because I'm just writing a ripoff of Titanfall. This movie was ass, despite some entertaining action sequences and a thing I'll talk about later regarding AI that I thought was decent but not fully executed, but at least it was attempting to say something different from stereotypical Netflix action movies. This was a stereotypical Netflix action movie created by AI on an algorithm on a computer, approved by the dumbass CEO of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, who has no idea what the fuck he's even doing. His son watches Lawrence of Arabia on his phone like it's fucking Quibi or something. I'm sorry, there might be a lot of cussing in this video. That's how angry I am right now. It's just mindless entertainment. This is your type of movie, then fine, go for it. But it's no different than those people that criticized and made fun of me in high school for listening to the same rock bands all the time. When everybody was telling me that Theory of a Dead Man sounded exactly like Nickelback, that every song from Nickelback sounded the same, that Hinder sounded the exact same as Theory of a Dead Man, that Saving Abel sounded the exact same as Hinder, you guys aren't wrong, but at the same time, Ariana Grande sounds the exact same as Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter sounds the exact same as Selena Gomez. Music all sounds the same. Books are all the same. Every YA novel is essentially the same. Books, music, video games can be the same too, but there's always something fresh and unique about them. Even if things sound the same, you can enjoy certain songs or certain books or certain chapters of those books from all those musical artists that do sound the same. There's always something that stands out about them. And I'm not saying that that's not the case with movies here, because there are plenty of movies that are the same. You have the Marvel formula. A lot of Star Wars content, I feel, is now the same. You see what I'm getting at? There's always still something fresh in movies, even when action movies feel like they're just copying other action movies. Even when it doesn't feel like there's an original idea out there, there's still something most of the time, maybe not all the time, maybe even 50% of the time, maybe only half the time. I'm probably tone deaf to all this. But what I'm getting at is that, yeah, even if something doesn't feel original, it feels like it's repeating and going through the same cycles over and over. It's not reinventing the wheel. There's still something about it, I feel like, that sticks out to you. Certain Liam Neeson action movies, yeah, they all are the same. But some of them, not all of them, have something different about them that I'm like, I can appreciate that. That's not the case with the Netflix action movies. They're all the same. There's nothing about them that stands out except maybe a couple of scenes here. At least this movie didn't feel like it was written to begin in the middle or it was written backwards like the past few Netflix action movies have. Like the one that comes to mind is that Gal Gadot one, Heart of what I'm not even gonna look it up. I don't care. At least this felt like it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'll give it that. It's just the journey to get there was just the most generic, basic, hollow, stupid thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of praise for J Lo in this movie, but I just thought that she was really, really flat. She's really trying to sell herself as an action star, and I feel like she could be a capable action star. That movie she made, I think it was last year or the year before, The Mother. I thought it was decent enough. Like, I was like, okay, she's got the chop, she's got the physicality, but what happened here? Oh, we stuck her in this Titanfall-esque robot for the whole movie, and now she's panicking and throwing I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I'm gonna try and bleep them out now, okay? I try to keep the cussing to a minimum, but I just can't sometimes. If I know I'm about to cuss, then it's getting bleeped out. I don't know, to me, this was a movie that where when the action was happening, I was enjoying the action, but then it would get ruined by moments of somebody saying the most cheesy, stupidest line you've ever heard. I felt like a lot of that belonged to J-Lo. There was one in the beginning that belonged to this like henchman of the main villain, and none of it worked. And I feel like that's why Jennifer Lopez's performance doesn't work. It also just feels like she's trying too hard. And to get onto the jokes, this feels like a movie that she made to distract herself from her divorce from Ben Affleck. Simu Liu is also in the movie. The guy's awesome as Shang-Chi. He is fucking horrible here. Oops, I didn't bleep it. I don't know. It's just the makeup and the visual effects that they put on him. This stupid hairdo. He's just a mustache twirling villain, just wanting to do mustache twirling villain things, you know. It's nice to see him have a change of pace and play a more antagonistic role, but like it doesn't work. He's given the most sloppy dialogue I have ever seen. And every time it just cuts back to some of these visual effects, mind you, holy shit, these visual effects. Look, this movie's already bad, but there are moments in this movie where I was dying laughing. You could say that this movie is so bad it's good.
The same word we could use to describe Jennifer Lopez can be applied to this movie, ass. We all think J-Lo has a big ass, the visual effects are ass, this movie's ass. It all correlates!
From like when you see somebody's like in a suit and you just see the top half of their head, it looks like their head is floating on top of the suit. That is hilarious. That looks so bad. It's just an ugly mess of a movie to look at. You're looking at CGI backdrops everywhere. The trees in the CGI background. I'm like, that looks like a Lego prop. I can't help but notice how awful that looks. There's nothing visually appealing here, and even getting back to the terrible visual effects, of course, when they're playing robots, they're like CGIing really weird eyes onto the actors, and it looks so uncanny. It looks so hokey and fake. Can we at least fix this up in post-production? Airbrush that shit or something? The entire script, though, feels like it was written by ChatGPT. As I was saying, there's so much awful dialogue, but there's so many stupid character decisions here. I'm just like, half the time I'm watching this movie, I'm laughing or I'm just questioning, what the fuck are you doing? It's one of those Netflix action movies, the stereotypical one. I don't have to say any more. You guys know my thoughts on this. I've already laid it out at the beginning, not gonna hark on it more. For ideas that I think were actually executed well or at least decently, but not to their full potential. I do think the action was pretty fun for most of it, although I did get kind of bored towards the end because I felt like it was rinse, wash, repeat. But at least I was like, okay, I can at least see the action. It's not edited horribly to a T where it's cutting away every 5 seconds. There's no shaky cam. There's at least energy to it, and I think that comes from Brad Payton directing like 30,000 Dwayne Johnson action movies that probably also suck. I'm not gonna say it's kinetic, but I did like enjoy having a little bit of that intensity in the action, and this movie does actually pose a question about if we can trust AI, but I just don't think that question is hammered home to the best of its ability. It at least tried. I'll give the movie credit where credit is due, is that it at least tried. I think that this type of movie could have been better if it was something like Ex Machina or something. Not a carbon copy of Ex Machina. No, don't get any ideas, Netflix. Don't you dare, Ted Sarandos. I know you are watching. But I'm making that comparison because I'm just saying, I think that a movie like this where you're dealing with AI, whether or not you should trust AI, the dangers of AI, what happens if you trust AI? Can you trust AI? Those types of ideas are definitely in this movie. They just feel like an afterthought to the shitty script and the action of it all, because it's clear that Netflix wanted to make an action movie, but I felt like it could have actually had something more to say if it felt like it was more of a drama or a thriller. And I think that this idea could have been hammered home a lot more if it was one of those two genres. And I actually do want to see a movie about AI similar to Ex Machina that does touch upon those ideas because we are moving towards an AI future. Mission Impossible kind of already touched upon it, and it did it so well with the tension, the drama, the humor, and the action. This is a movie that had so much potential to do that, and it just didn't, unfortunately. It at least raised some questions, but they feel like they're on the back burner. But other than the action and some of those questions that even aren't hammered home all that much, it's your stereotypical Netflix action movie. What else can I say? Do I have to create a new rating for this? I don't think I've used this one yet. I enjoyed Atlas with an empty bucket of popcorn. I don't think I've used that rating yet this year. If I have, let me know in the comments section below. I'm sorry for the massive rants, but you know what? This movie just made me want to talk about it for some reason. I don't know if I can actually stay away from reviewing Netflix movies, even though I said I was going to, because it's just like I said, it's therapy to me. Like it brings out the best in me, or the anger in me, I should say. So if you have seen Atlas on Netflix, let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. I will leave my link to my website and my link tree in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.